everybody, Neal Schon here. You're watching Masa Rock City.
なんとニール・ショーのジャーニーが約11年ぶりにフリーダムという素晴らしいアルバムを発表しました。そのニール・ショーンとのインタビューをご覧ください。最近のニューアルバムって8曲とか10曲収録されることが多いんですが、今回のフリーダム15曲収録されてるんですけど、これはやっぱりその空白の間にいっぱい曲が作られていたからやっぱりいっぱい入れようということになったんでしょうか。
Yeah, well, it was like you said, it's the first time I'd been in the studio working on a new Journey record. I had no lack of ideas, or, I was very motivated. Many song ideas. I have thousands of ideas in this is my new cell phone. The cell phone is kind of like my new cassette recorder that I used in the 80s. When I accumulated many ideas for songwriting. And so I have thousands of ideas in there that I loop and come up with that, every day or every other day. And when I went in the studio, I kind of just went through some of the ideas that I came up with just recently before we went in the studio and handpicked a few and then kind of made up some on the spot. And we had many more than the 16 tracks that you're getting. We had like about 35 that we were working on, Nada and I with the rest of the guys.
それとニューアルバムの、特徴はニールがとにかくとことんギターを弾きまくるっていうそういう作品が多いような気がしたんですけど、どうですか？
I did. I took advantage of, it was a pandemic record, if you want to call it a Zoom record. Not everybody was able to be in the same room at the same time. And so Narda and I lived in the same city, very close. I'm about 10 minutes away from him. And his studio that he recorded all his bigger records with is just 10 minutes away. So, I've made many records in the past, starting with just drums and guitar. The first one I ever did like that was actually the albums that I did with Jan Hammer, and Jan played drums. It was guitar and drums, live guitar and drums, and we were just kind of winging it, and we didn't know really. We arranged it, talked about it, and then we just lay it down and then build off it. And so I kind of did the same concept with Narda this time, where there was always him and I playing in the studio live, like a song like Let It Rain was just a jam one day, and it wasn't even a song. It was a riff I had in my phone, and I had just the beginning, but I played it for him. He started playing with me, and I just kind of arranged it in my head as we were playing live. And it's like off the cuff. Nothing is thought about on this record, really. I mean, probably the lyrics that Jonathan wrote were the most thought about. The melodies and the songs, most of the music I came up with just, on the spot. And very few ideas were in my phone, actually. I came up with fresh new ideas once we started the project. I started playing a lot more keyboards and looping keyboards and, kind of just doing really funky demo tapes, into the iPhone. It was just, little tiny demos of jams. And there's a beauty about that is because I think, when things are very well thought out, you come out with a product that's like that, and it's not bad. It's not bad to be very thought out, but I'm not that type of musician. I play better like off the cuff and in the spur of the moment when everything's kind of fresh and I don't work out any solos and I kind of just hit it and the red light goes on and I play. And whatever comes out of my heart, it's emotion. I play off emotions and I guess what I'm feeling like that day,
今ちらっと出てきましたけど、やっぱプレーがライブ的であるっていうことがこのアルバムをものすごくダイナミックな作品にしているような気がするんですが、その辺どうでしょうか？
It's definitely I went for that sound, and Bob Clearmountain mixed it, and he was a bit pissed off with me because I recorded everything the way I heard it, with the echoes that I heard in a big hall, from which what I hear every night when we go into, a big arena or a stadium, hearing a slapback echo, which adds to the size of everything. And so, to play, I don't have a problem playing dry with no effects, and there's a couple songs in the album that are like that are more blues based. But, I like writing for the size of the places that we play. And so I thought, why not come from that place sonically from the get-go in the studio, and make a more live sounding record, of which it really was, even though we weren't all live at the same time. Narda and I were live. A lot of my solos I played with him before there was any bass put on. Then I put bass on afterwards and played little keyboards to demo it up, and then send it off to Randy Jackson and Jonathan, and they overdubbed their parts after that. But I went for that live sound, and Bob Clearmountain was like, "Why did you do that?" Because that's what I do as a mixer. And so I said, "Sorry, it's the way we didn't know." He was going to mix the record in the beginning, and so I wasn't thinking about that. I was thinking about, why don't I just lay it down the way I'm hearing it in my head, so I don't have to try to explain it to somebody later.